people would much rather be oppressed than be an oppressor. And the white man has always been the oppressor. Not anymore. They found a way to really curb that. Just say you're a woman. Grow out your hair, put some lipstick on.
And you can dominate women.
And you can get into women's prisons. That's a big push we've seen.
47 biological males are in California prisons right now.
Crazy. You know how many to your point, how many women went into men's prisons in California?
How many?
1.
What?
She had 3 months left of her sentence. So no time. But yeah, we've seen in New Jersey, Ohio, California, Kansas, New York. In New York, they have posted placards in all women's prisons talking about pregnancy prevention. And you know what they did in California prisons on Super Bowl Sunday, where everyone's distracted, right? Like no one's paying attention. They had supervisors come in working overtime to implement in women's facilities, women's prisons, condom dispensers and dental dams. So not only, look, sex in prisons is not allowed. You're not allowed to do that or not supposed to do that anyways. But by putting condoms in all women's facilities, not only are you essentially allowing it, it's as if you're encouraging it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's nuts. But how many pregnancies did they have before they had to do that? How many instances of STDs did they have before they had to do that?
And that's the thing. I've seen in California prisons now where AIDS and HIV is running rampant in women's prisons. I know it. It's crazy. But again, to your point, like even the whole language thing we talked about, like we don't see men's language being infiltrated and taken over like we have this attack on the word woman or the word female. There was just a bill in California, again, last week, where it would replace female in all state statute with the word person. We're not seeing that go the other way. I think for a couple reasons. First and foremost, men wouldn't put up with it for a second. Could you imagine, right? Like women are now called cervix havers or uterus owners or menstruators or bleeders or chest feeders or birthing person. Could you imagine the equivalent, right, to egg producer? If we started calling men sperm producers or we started calling men erection havers, could you imagine the outrage from men? But it shows you too, like the minute men felt threatened with the whole Bud Light thing, Bud Light essentially lost $27 billion overnight. But their next commercial, which shows you how money moves a lot of this stuff, their next commercial was a big burly man on a motorcycle with the camo can. Like, they're not following red or blue, they're following green. But it shows you too, like, we talk a lot, especially in this space that I've kind of been involved in, of the physical differences between men and women. But I think how the whole language scene, how I portray it, is we see the innate characteristic differences between men and women, because the same assertive, dominant men who have always and will always be men are the same men claiming to be women demanding the language that we use. And the same apologetic, emotionally driven, empathetic women who have been and will always be women, when they enter into a man's space, they're not demanding anything because, again, they're the same women they always have been. And it shows the differences that we possess within our characteristics almost innately. Without a doubt.
And it's such an important point to point out, because this is the problem that a lot of feminists are having, where these biological males are calling themselves women and entering into these women's spaces and then dominating the way men dominate things.
Right.
And behaving the way men behave.
Of course.
And it's, unfortunately, a lot of it is supported by a lot of these older liberal women.